Last time we looked at Matthew, and he was telling them to think differently. And he was looking to their past and saying, this is what was written. And we looked at the prophets and stuff. Well, 30 years have now passed since Matthew talks about Jesus. 20 years since we know anything about him. Luke records when he was 12 at the temple in that situation. Well, what has been going on? We don't really know. Joseph has passed away. Jesus has siblings, we know that, he later tells us that, and as the firstborn, he's kind of taken over the family business. He's taken over being the one to take care of the family. He's a good Jewish boy. But now, the time has come. It's time to begin. See, he starts out by talking to forerunner. Again, Jewish audience, forerunner, the Elijah, that is John. He says, a light in the desert, referring to John the Baptist. And what would it have been like to be there? Think about when Jesus walks up to the edge of that water and John is there. And Jesus said, no greater man has been born of woman than John. And so you've got John, and then you've got Jesus the Messiah. What would it have been like? And then Jesus tells John, when John says, no, I don't think I should. He says, yeah, it's happening. This is happening. And Jesus takes off and he wanders in the desert for 40 days in the wilderness. Satan comes and attacks. We know the story. And Satan knew it was happening. Jesus then comes out and he calls those that were going to be with him for the next 3 years. He calls them to come and be with him. And I want to read what he says here. In Matthew chapter 4, verses 18 to 22. As Jesus walked along the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon called Peter and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I'll make you fishers of men. At once they left their nets and followed him. I don't know if we grasp the essence of the Jewish culture and the Greek words there. When he says come, it's not like, hey, come on. It's like, come now. It was just very intense. And what they do, it says, well, at once. The Greek word there means straight away. Without deviating, they left. They followed Jesus. The disciples did not completely understand what was going on. They just knew that this was the Messiah. They had heard about it, and they were going to follow him. See, we don't always understand either when we're called to follow, when we choose to follow. But we go forward, growing and learning. And that's what we're doing here with Matthew. I briefly mentioned things from chapters 3 and 4 here. I encourage you to go read chapters 3 and 4 and get the fuller picture of everything that's going on. Jesus was calling them, was challenging them to something new, to something different over the next 3 years. The challenge for us over the next 3 months is to look at what that was, to be what Jesus calls us to be. You have heard, but it is happening. Be with us next time as we continue exploring God's Word together. Stay safe.